Hello, welcome in. I need to grab something real quick, so I will be right back. All right, my bad. Welcome in. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Arguably best week of the year, other than week 1 of NFL. I would say, maybe like third best week of the year. I would say, Nathan, what's up? I would say week 1 of NFL, just the excitement of everything is number 1 for me still. I would say opening week of the NCAA tournament is probably number 2. Because I just love March Madness so much. And you usually kind of get opening day, at least how it's been recent years. You get opening day that week on top of, the first week of the tournament, or sometimes you get, the week after opening day. So that's a good week. I guess like feast week is good because you have football and college basketball going on like that week of Thanksgiving. So, okay, and then this week, obviously, you had National Championship Monday and then the Masters. So, I'd say top 5. I won't say it's the best. Top 5 week of the year. Melissa, what's up? I do have some first-round leaders I like, which we'll talk about. We're going to talk about everything. I do have a blog post up. I will actually drop that in the chat. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, I think the link will pop up. If you're on X, I don't think the link pops up. If you're not watching on YouTube, that's totally fine. But make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Rolling Insights. We're on the road to 300 subs over there. Would like to hit 300 before we get to football season again. But all right, so quick recap. National Championship game. Not the best game to watch, but I thought it was still fun, still good. Absolutely destroyed the tournament. Probably the best tournament I've ever had betting-wise. Just absolutely crushed everything. Took top 5 in a lot of my bracket pools with the Michigan winner there. So didn't get any first place prizes, but cashed a lot of my pools. And then we lucked into that UConn 40-1 ticket. And then, was able to make a couple $100 on the national championship game itself, just with the hedge for Michigan. So yeah, really, really strong tournament for me. Happy with how that went. Baseball has been great to start crushing that in the betting streets as well. So we'll talk more baseball on the stream as we progress here after the Masters. Excited to get back into like some baseball streams. We can really dive in and go game by game and just talk about stuff. Again, no shade at anybody, but I say this every year. There's probably no sport that you can tell who knows and who doesn't know what they're talking about more so than baseball. And if you've been around here for a long time, I actually, if you look at my betting stats, up over 60 units lifetime betting baseball, it's actually my best sport. I firmly believe I was put on this earth to pick touchdown scorers. But even then, I have better stats in baseball than I do football. Slightly more profitable in baseball than football. So, and I broke into this industry. I've been doing this for almost 10 years at this point. I broke in doing baseball. So if you've been around a long time, you know that. A lot of people can fake it in football. They can fake it in basketball. I don't think you can fake it in baseball. You either know what you're doing or you don't. And I think it's very easy to tell who knows how to research baseball and who doesn't. So just keep that in mind when you're out there consuming content. Again, no names, no shade, just trying to educate the viewers. I think we have a pretty smart, viewer base here, but just a reminder, yearly reminder. All right. As far as the Masters goes, this is a weird Masters. I think it's more open than the last few have been. At the same time, though, there's still a small list of guys that can actually win the tournament, in my opinion. There's like a big trend of the last X amount of winners have played one of the 2 weeks leading up to the Masters. And this year, there's a huge list of guys, especially at the top, that don't fall into that. So this is probably a year that we see that trend get broken, unless a handful of guys win. So I don't know, but historically, the trend stuff, it's kind of like I feel like it used to be cool to put out those like Masters trends, and I used to do that. Now it's like so mainstream, and so many people that just post AI tweets and stuff do the Masters trends threads and stuff. So I just choose not to do that because I don't think it's actionable for people with so many people doing it. But I digress. I do think the trends are pretty sticky when it comes to the Masters, and the things that you're looking for here are good recent form, guys that have played well here before. I kind of like to get in that sweet spot of guys where they've made a couple of starts here, right? Like you don't want a debutant, you don't want a guy that's maybe only played here once or twice, typically. So I like to get in that sweet spot where they've made a couple of starts or have had, big prior success here. That's kind of the main stuff I'm looking for. So I posted on X my card and also wrote up a number of those guys in the blog post. So if we want to just run through my thoughts on like the outright stuff quickly, and then we'll kind of walk through the odds as a whole, and we'll talk some like first round leaders and props and matchups and all that stuff. I have one matchup I really like, which we can talk about. But if we want to run through the outright card, at the top, as part of my UConn hedge, I parlayed my pick to win with Michigan to get a little bit of a better number, and Michigan did win. So we have a Xander Schauffele 24-1 ticket on DraftKings. I am going with Xander to win this thing. So if you watch the stream, we bet on Xander pretty regularly in the top 10 market. I put system play in my tweet because I bet Xander top 10 every single major. He had a bad season last year with the injury, but he has firmly been back this year. Really consistent results kind of leading up to this tournament. We don't need to worry about the big game hunting for him anymore with a two-time major winner. He won 2 a few years ago. Very strong track record at Augusta. So I'm going with Xander. I like the way he's played. And Dewan, what's up? Mitchell, what's up? I like the way he's played. He's trending. Good course history. And this feels like a little bit, like I said, of an open tournament, right? These guys at the top have a little bit of suspect form in Scotty and Rory. You don't truly know what you're going to get from John, Rob, and Bryson. They've been playing very, very well on the Live Tour, but you still just don't know. I know Bryson's a very, very popular pick this week. I still don't know if I trust him to put together 4 good rounds with his irons enough to win this tournament. You really need to be good with your approach shots to win the Masters. I don't know if I trust him to do that 4 rounds in a row. He can get away with it at other stuff, like he won the U.S. Open, and he played really well that week, but a little bit of a different scenario on this course. So I don't know if I firmly, truly buy the Bryson thing. John Rahm, former Masters winner, but I don't know. So it's a little bit open at the top. This is the year that I think Xander can strike. I also took Xander top 10 at plus 136. That's including ties on DraftKings. Everywhere else was even odds on that. I thought that was really, really strong value on DraftKings, and it has come down. Actually, no, it's the same odds on DK. I think that's really good value. So I like Xander T10 and to win the tournament. Looking at the top of the board, can someone please explain to me how Ludwig Oberg has lower odds? Now it's basically the same, but how on earth does he have lower odds to win this golf tournament than Xander Schauffele? Like, can anybody explain that to me in the chat? And this is coming from somebody that Ludwig Oberg is my favorite golfer, bar none. He is my number 1 favorite golfer right now. I think he is going to have an insanely strong career. I think he's going to win more than one major championship in his career. Absolutely love Ludwig. The guy has a problem closing out tournaments. It's just a fact. And it's not going to be a fact forever because once he does it once, in a big spot, then you feel pretty comfortable with him. But the last few times that we've seen him with a lead, he won early last year. After that, anytime we've seen him with a lead, he has really struggled to put it away. He couldn't put away the Valero last week. And I don't know why I would trust him to put away the Masters over Xander, who is a multiple-time major champion. Cam Young just won the Players, right? Matt Fitzpatrick is a U.S. Open champion. Hideki is a former Masters champion. Like, why am I trusting him to put this thing away over that group of guys? So I think his price is insane. I would love to back Ludwig here, but I definitely can't at that number. I wish I would have jumped on it like last year. I thought that's a crazy number. Scotty, I have no interest in just because he's 6-1. It's Scotty. The approach has not been there for him this season. Could it be there this week? For sure. Definitely could. But this is an approach golf course, and I just don't think he has had it enough. Guys really don't go back-to-back here unless you're Tiger Woods, so I would count Rory out personally. Talked about Rahm and Bryson. Talked about Ludwig. Xander's my pick. Like Cam Young a lot. You guys know I ever go back to the first golf blog I wrote this season, all the way back for the Hawaii swing. And I was writing up Cam Young, said I'm going to be on him a lot this year. Think he's going to have a big season. Won the Players. Could he win the Masters? Certainly. Don't love the number, though, to be honest. 22-1. I would like him in like that 30 range. That's just me personally. I did back Tommy Fleetwood. He is another guy. The putter really hasn't been there for him, but I don't worry as much about that at Augusta, especially if these greens are as firm and fast as everyone's saying they are. I don't know. It seems like guys can putt, on these surfaces, even when they're struggling. Scotty won the Masters when he wasn't a great putter, the first time. Will Zalatoris has never won the Masters, but not a good putter. Always putts well at Augusta. So I don't worry about that as much. Tommy's played well all season. Comps well. Has played recently enough to where I think he can be in the mix. Another guy that you have concerns about finishing, but I'd rather bet Tommy I took Tommy at 24. I'd rather bet him at 24 than Ludwig at 17, personally. So I do like Tommy. Moving on down there, like Minwoo I like, but not at that number. Colin, can't touch him with the back stuff. Rose I like, but not at that number. Bobby Mack I did take. Another guy that's been playing really, really well. I know he struggled on Sunday this past week, but it was cold, rainy. I'm willing to write that off. I'm willing to write it off for Ludwig to an extent too, but Ludwig has like a legit track record of not being able to close tournaments out. Bobby Mack played really, really well at the U.S. Open. Actually, he's played well his last few major starts. So he's been a little bit of a big game hunter. He just hasn't got over the hump. Comps well for the course for me. I like Bobby Mack this week. Patrick Reed, I took in January at 75-1. He is all the way down to 42-1. So I actually did not include him on my tweet because I didn't want to give out a number that I took months ago to people. So I do have Patrick Reed at 70-1. I wrote Patrick Reed up. He's played very well on the DP World Tour, plays well at Augusta, plays really well at Augusta, former Master champion. It's like Patrick Reed. I'd much rather bet Bobby Mack or Reed at these numbers than this kind of group up here, that being like Hideki, Minwoo, Colin, even Ludwig to an extent at that number. I'd rather bet these guys down here. Then we get down into like the long shot area where I don't really think any of these guys can win, but I think they can be in the mix. Akshay Bhatia, 65-1 on draft on FanDuel looks pretty good. Lefties always play well here, typically. Bobby Mack, lefty as well. Akshay's played really well. He hasn't won on the PGA Tour this year. He's played very consistent. Weird travel stuff with him going to play in India, his last event before this, but comps pretty well. He's been putting the absolute shit out of the golf ball. So I do think he can contend here. Not sure if I would trust him to put this thing away, but at 65-1, take a little nibble. Nikolai, another guy that I bet a ton. If you guys follow me, you know that. I don't really think he can win, but I think he can be in the mix. If Nikolai Højgaard won this tournament with me not backing him, I would just lose my mind because I bet him so regularly, and he has not got over the hump yet. I don't think it's going to be here. Adam Scott I like, but just didn't make my final card. Former Masters champion. Played pretty well on the PGA Tour this year. Putter's super inconsistent, but when it gets hot, it gets real hot. I definitely think he can put together some good rounds here. And then the other guys I want to mention, Corey Connors always plays well at Augusta. Super inconsistent with the putter, but to Matt's point he made to me earlier, very good lag putter, which plays well here. He has as good of a track record as any non-winner here. Very, very good course history, multiple top 10s on his course history. Very top 10 in scoring average round one the last few seasons at this tournament. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then my guy, Harris English, always back Harris English at majors. He is the sneakiest big game hunter. Again, doesn't win, but came second place in multiple majors last year. Another guy that plays very well at Augusta, like the odds, like him to be in the mix. Sungjae plays well here too. I would be a little bit more interested in him if we had seen more from him, but with him coming back from the injury and stuff, we just haven't seen enough of him. But I just want to mention that. So overall, outrights for me, Xander, biggest stand. I think he's going to win. Tommy Fleetwood, Patrick Reed at a way better number than what he is now. Bobby Mack, Akshay Bhatia, Harris English. That's the group. For first round leader, Corey Connors, over 60-1 on DraftKings. Like I said, very good round one scoring average here. Very good course history here. Like his tee time, Corey Connors, and then Mr. Adam Scott. Those are probably my two favorite first round leaders. You could also talk me into a Nikolai Højgaard or a Sungjae Im. That would round out the group probably with Harris English. That'd be like my 5 first round leaders. But Scott and Connors are my 2 favorites that I like the most. As far as matchups go, my favorite one is probably Scott over JT. You can get that around -130. I also like Hideki over Colin, but it got super steamed before I could even bet it. It's almost like -190 the last time I looked. I think you have a little bit of equity there of either Colin withdrawing and you just get your money back, or Colin playing a couple holes and withdrawing, and then you basically just get a de facto win. Now, if Colin plays and he's full throttle, I wouldn't like it at that price. But I still like Hideki over Colin in general. So that one I like, but it's a little too juicy for me to take. Missed out on any of the good numbers there. I do like Scott over JT at -130. If you are in the chat and you have anybody you like or any questions, feel free to ask. As far as some of those other weird markets, I haven't taken it, but I like Zach Johnson top senior over just a wily group here. Angel Cabrera, VJ Couples, Mike Weir. Like ZJ, I saw him at +110 last night on Hard Rock. I don't know if that's the best number or not because I'm seeing -104 on DK right now, and I think -110 on FanDuel. So have not bet it, but I do like Zach Johnson for top senior. Top debutante, I took Jacob Bridgman at plus 630. He has since come down to plus 570. If you guys know Sam and Matt, who come on the stream, sometimes Matt comes on during the football season. That's kind of our group chat squad ride, is going to be Jacob Bridgman for the top debutante. We took it at 630 last night. It's down to 570. Still like it at plus 570. All the same. Cam Young, first round leader. Yeah, I don't hate that. He definitely could be the first round leader. And I like Cam Young a lot. I just missed out on any of the good numbers. And I don't want to take too many guys. So he didn't make my final cut, but it's not because I don't like him. I think he is definitely in my like top 10 guys that I think can win this tournament. Just didn't make my final cut because I missed all the good numbers. And he certainly could be first round leader. I don't hate it. If you have conviction there, take it. I like to take the longer shots on first round leader, especially here. You can get a little crazy stuff early. It gets chalkier as you go on. But I don't hate Cam Young. He could certainly get that done. We did hit Justin Rose first round leader here last year. I want to remind you. So hopefully Connors or Scott come through for us. Top amateur. I think a lot of people are on this Ethan Fang. I don't have a pick there, but nothing really sticking out to me. I like Corey Connors, top Canadian. This was minus 140, I think, ish on DraftKings. That looks pretty good to me. Obviously, we're not including Mike Weir in that. He has no chance to win that. So it's basically you're taking Corey Connors minus 140 over Nick Taylor. I like Adam Scott, top Australian, over Min Woo. You're getting almost 3-1 odds on that. I like that. Obviously, going against Jason Day too. Cam Smith, I'm willing to just write off, just given what we've seen from him in any major since he went to live. So that's kind of like a 3-person race, in my opinion, between Min Woo, Scott, and Jason Day. I like Scott there. Interesting that Tommy, I guess they're kind of like the same odds. Tommy's slight favorite for top English. I am going to do a round 1 3-ball parlay as well. I'll tweet that out for you guys later. But yeah, so tomorrow I will be live 4 p.m. with Steve. We will be live, watching the Masters, talking about all sorts of stuff. So make sure you guys tune into that tomorrow, 4 p.m. Stay tuned to my X account and the Rolling Insights X account later. I will tweet out that round 1 3-ball parlay. My outrights are posted on X as well. Good luck in the Masters. Super excited for both DFS and betting. My favorite golf tournament of the year. I think most people's favorite golf tournament of the year. I like the US Open too, but the Masters just hits different. The pageantry and all that stuff. So super excited for tomorrow. Hopefully we start off with a banger, first round leader or something. Good luck, and I will see everyone tomorrow.